What's up, travelers? Welcome to Travel News and Views with me, your host David from Travel by David, where I'm giving you the scoop with the latest in the world of travel news, along with my views. Now, let's get started. I follow John Heald on Facebook. Now, John Heald is the ambassador for Carnival Cruise Line. And today, what I was reading is a person wants an all-adult cruise. They want more all-adult cruises. Now, last August, or this past August, just a couple of months ago, Carnival embarked on their first all-adults-only cruise. And they did that, they call it the Sea, right? It's the sailing exclusively for adults. Now, apparently, it went off with a bang, and people loved it, because now you've got people saying, hey, we want more. We want more, we want more, we want more. And Carnival is saying, okay, this is extremely a popular option. People really like it, so let's offer more. Now, it's noteworthy saying that these sea cruises are designed specifically for casino guests. Okay? It doesn't mean you can't get into them, but they're designed for casino guests. They're now going to do more sailings. They've got sailings in 2026 out of Port Canaveral, Port Miami, and out of Galveston on the Carnival Dream and the Carnival Glory. John went on to say that, look, we are always going to be a family cruise line. And they are. That's what Carnival has built their reputation on, is the fun ships. They are the fun ships, the family ships, right? But he did say, I think we perhaps stumbled across a little secret. You know, with adult sailing selling out quickly, Carnival fans are asking for more. It sounds like Carnival may have just found a little popular strategy. Now, other cruise lines they already do this. They're already, we do adults only, period. We don't have kids on there. As for me, at my age, I'm an empty nester now. I've raised my children, I traveled with my children, and I travel with them now as adults. I don't have grandchildren yet. So when I go on a cruise, I kind of want to go on a cruise line or a cruise that is kind of free of a bunch of kids. Now, I don't mind a few kids, some well-behaved kids. That's fine, but I don't want just to be overwhelmed with that. Some people cruise during the off-season. They cruise longer cruise itineraries on Carnival just so they can get away from that. I was talking to a friend just the other day, and I asked him about that, and he said, yeah, we cruise off-season. We love Carnival. We cruise off season. We take, at least 7 days or longer. And man, we have a few kids on there, but very few. And so you can make it work. You can really make it work. Now, I tend to cruise on more of like Princess or Celebrity. I'm looking at going on Virgin next year. And yeah, so I want to be where there's very few kids or no kids at this point. I know that's going to change. Next month, I'm actually traveling on MSC, and I know there'll be kids on there. It's going to be and it's going to be fine. It's going to be great. I've yet to be on a cruise ship that I didn't like. Okay. So, what say you? Do you want to cruise more with adults only, or are you still in that age where you want to cruise as a family? Either way is cool. One more thing that John had to deal with this week, and I'm just going to tell you, if you're not following him, you're missing out on social media gold. When I read what people send into him and the questions he gets, it's really kind of hurts a little bit on looking at humanity, but at the same time, it heals a little bit too, because you see some good people in there as well. But you also have people who just, I think, get a little bit petty. Let's talk about jeans in the main dining room. John had to deal with this week. There was a guest who wrote in that said, I counted over 100 people wearing jeans tonight on Elegant Night in the dining room. They should be forced to eat on the Lido deck. It ruined the whole meal again for us both and everyone else who had bothered to dress up. I don't know about you folks. I don't count people who are wearing jeans when they come in to eat. I'm from the South. I have friends who have their work jeans, their play jeans, and their fancy jeans. And you could also have a Tennessee or a Texas tuxedo where you've got jeans and a jacket and a button-up shirt with a collar. So I don't understand how this could ruin your meal. People wearing jeans in the main dining room on elegant night? I mean, come on. Some people want to wear jeans all the time, period. They don't wear slacks. They don't dress up. They're on vacation and they have a right to do so. Now, if you want a more elegant, more in line with maybe what your tastes are, maybe you should get on a cruise line that is exactly the standard. And that may be what you need. But don't be judging folks just because they want to put jeans on and come into the main dining room and enjoy themselves. They paid for their vacation. I think, for me personally, I just think this is a little bit petty. But the big question I have is, this person said that it ruined it for them and everyone else who decided to dress up. I really want to know, did this person go and ask everyone else who dressed up? Did this bother you? Did it ruin your meal like it ruined mine? Because I guarantee there are those that dress up, because I do it. I like to dress up when I go on elegant night. My wife and I both do. But if I saw someone in jeans, it's definitely not going to ruin my meal. What say you? When you were a teenager, did you ever do something dumb? I mean, something really dumb, that when you became an adult and you look back on your life and you go, man, that was dumb. I should not have done that. I can say I'm not proud to admit it, but yes, I did some dumb stuff when I was a teenager that when I look back now, I just have to thank the good Lord above that I did not meet my end because I did some dumb stuff. Now, there's teenagers out there that we know. I've raised teenagers, and I have said, at this point in your life, I'm going to make all your major decisions for you because your brain isn't fully developed yet. And while that is scientifically true, and you're trying to teach them how to become adults, there are things in teenagers' brains that kind of make them think they're a little bit invincible. As it goes to show this week with a TikTok that captured two teenage boys standing on the railing of a balcony and holding on to the top, and one even leaning way out over the balcony, and he had flip-flops on, for goodness sakes. And I know, in his mind, he's probably thinking, man, my adrenaline's pumping. And man, this is awesome. But in my parental mind, in my adult self, I'm looking at this and going, this kid could have perished. This could have turned out horribly, horribly. I'm thankful that it did not turn out horribly and that they did get back on to the balcony safely. But it just goes to show you, dangerous behavior, it's just ingrained where they want to do these things. But I will say, we can't allow this to happen. You cannot be doing this on a cruise ship. Cruise ships are dangerous. They can be all safe and everybody can be fine. But if you play around and goof off like this, it could turn tragic quickly. So we just cannot have this. Now, we think this may have happened on Royal Caribbean's Wonder of the Seas. Not sure if that's been confirmed yet or not, but according to the TikToker who did this, we think that they were on Royal Caribbean. So I don't know if Royal Caribbean is going to do anything about it, if they found out who these kids are. People are saying, hey, they should be banned. They should not be back on a cruise ship. And I don't disagree with that. I think maybe a time period for them to grow up and say, hey, that was really dumb. And when you come back and prove that your mind is fully developed and you can say, yeah, that was dumb, I shouldn't have done that, then maybe let them back on a cruise ship. But let's not ban them for life. Let's ban them until they mature. How about that? You guys remember back earlier this summer where we were celebrating a heroic dad who jumped into the water off of a Disney cruise ship to save his daughter who had fallen into the ocean. Now, at the time, we all were like, Dad was a hero. He jumped in, he saved his daughter, and man, he did what he had to do to make sure that she was okay. He grabbed her, tread water for 20 minutes. Disney's team jumped in, got on a boat, went out there and got them and rescued them. And it turned out okay, right? It turned out okay. Now, there are police reports now that have been released, and they have been obtained by multiple news sources that says that the 5-year-old climbed the railing and then she lost her balance and fell backwards into the ocean. But what happened was that Mom thought it would be a great picture. Dad was ahead of the group. Mom thought it would be a great picture. She thought that the porthole wasn't open. But investigators say, hey, you can just tell that porthole was open. So, at a big lapse of safety there, maybe on Mom's part, led to this ordeal. Now, again, thankful that everything turned out okay. The police said they're not going to charge Mom. It wasn't something that she did on purpose. It wasn't something that she did to say, oh yeah, let's do this. They're not going to charge her with neglect. And look, I mean, say what you will, things happen, bad things can happen. But again, pay extra close attention on cruise ships. Again, like I just said about the teenagers, cruise ships can be dangerous. They can be safe if we all play by the rules and we are safe, but they can be very dangerous, as this mom and dad found out. But listen, I'm not gonna beat this into the ground, but I'm thankful that Dad was able to jump in and get the daughter, and I'm sure that Mom will be way more careful in the future. And for those of you who are watching this who've never been on a cruise, what's holding you back, right? And there's lots of reasons that could hold you back. It could be financially. It could be you're afraid of being seasick. It could be you're afraid of the ocean. My wife was that way not long ago. And she was like, after she did it, she was like, I love this. This is fantastic. Why did I wait so long? Why did I let fear control me from all of this fun? So what is it that holds you back? According to projections by AAA, it's not holding that many people back, because it's an estimated that a record 21.7 million Americans will go on an ocean cruise in 2026. What's more is that 20.7 million have taken to a ship this year, and the numbers have just risen, and it even went upwards of the projections that they've had. Matter of fact, next month when I go on my next cruise, I'm taking 4 people with me that this will be their first time cruising ever. And they're excited. They're super pumped about it. And I'm super pumped to go with them to see their excitement when they get on the ship, when they see the ship for the first time, when they see how massive it is, when they go out and explore the ports, and they get to just do all the things that make cruising so fun. I'm pumped just to see them. I am. Now, this report is showing that others must be feeling the same way, because it's just continuing to rise, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Cruise lines are building new ships. They're building bigger ships. They're building other ships. They're going out there, and it's just something that's done all over the world. It's not just an American thing. But for U.S. passengers, 65% of the U.S. passengers are 55 and older, 27% are 35 to 54, 7% are 18 to 34. But nearly 50% of cruise passengers travel as a couple, while 20% are cruising with their kids. That goes back to what I talked about earlier with, do you want more adult cruises, or do you still want to travel with the family? So it looks like about 50% as couples and 20% with kids. There are multi-generational cruises. That's what I'll be taking next month. It'll be a multi-generational cruise, and I'm super pumped about that. And according to AAA, it says that 72% of Americans taking an ocean cruise this year will be headed to the Caribbean. Hey everybody, thanks for checking out this video. And if you haven't done so, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. We greatly appreciate it. It will help the channel grow. It will help me get better at putting these things out there for you and bringing more news to you, and hopefully some tips along the way. And hopefully I can give you a little bit of humor to go along with it. And that's the view for this week. Keep calm, cruise on, and I'll see you next time.